Hey everybody, thank you so much for coming back and joining another Tuesday career coaching with me. Thanks guys, 11 people have given me a thumbs up, really appreciate that. Oh hey Lalu, sorry, I know that's your nickname, that's not your real name. Let me know guys, my setup is a little bit different and it changes every week. Because I actually have contractors in my condo right now putting drywall in my bedroom. So I'm trying to cancel as much noise level as possible. So give me a thumbs up. Say yes if you can hear me. Hey Renee, I can tell that a couple of my Patreon community have stopped by to support me and I'm here to help you guys, okay? Let me do this here. Give me 1 second while I adjust myself. Let me get out of here. My chat, where are you chat? And I will share with you guys why I'm so frantic today. But I'm pretty sure a lot of you could take a guess as to why. Second, please. Okay, yes, great, okay. Let's get started. So before we start, and for those of you who has been following every Tuesday live, coming back in supporting me and in answering your interview questions with Amazon mostly, know that I don't really share a lot of my feelings and where things are, except if my son's trying to pull my hair or anything in that nature, where I'm forced to tell you guys that I have a son, right? To be honest, I'm really frantic right now. Normally, I'm so pumped. I generally look forward the entire week to come here to hang out with you guys. But the last 4 days has been really heavy. It's been really shitty, to be honest. Excuse my language. You know, anytime when there's an event that has to do with any racial discrimination or racial biases, anything in that category is very heavy, okay? I have to get that out there. I don't want to pretend like nothing had happened because I can actually see them. They're only 2 blocks away from where I live. So let's move on, carry on. I can't even talk right now. I have to zen and come back to earth for everyone, okay? All right, we're good. Okay, actually, I'm not good. Let me have a sip of coffee here. Okay, bear with me. Let's try this again. Renee, thank you so much for coming back. Here's my tell me about yourself. Okay, you guys saw the, all of you guys saw the, my message, and also the purpose of today is tell me about yourself. Why tell me about yourself? As I mentioned last week, and I'm a woman of my word, I want to be committed to you guys. I created a poll about a month ago on my community page on YouTube, just YouTube community. I've asked all of my subscriber, and it's about 4,000 of you guys, basically what kind of content you'd be interested in, how could I add value to you right now, and most of the people wants me to talk about Amazon and behavioral questions and Q&A. So I'm trying to do all of them all at once. So every Tuesday I will have a behavioral questions and I'll try to answer them with example and in coaching you guys and also asking you how you should be answering, okay? I know it's a little bit more long-winded now than I've ever been, but as mentioned, I'm a little frantic right now. I'm trying to come back to reality. So if you're tuning in for the very first time, I'm Holly Lee. I am a certified career coach. I spend most of my life of 20 plus years or so in technical recruiting, leader and trainer. My passion is really in career coaching and training, which is why I've created this business for myself almost a year ago. Okay, so let's get started. If you want to connect with me, all my contact information is on my YouTube channel and underneath the video later on. Okay, okay, let's just quickly see who's here. Ashma, hey, hello again, Ashma. Amit and I actually jumped on a call. He is a T2 on my Patreon page. So every now and then, depending on what tier you choose, and we're not talking about paying me hundreds of dollars. We'll talk about like $10 Patreon membership fee. I'll pick a person where I feel that would need my help the most. As you can see, I don't really have the bandwidth to jump, and jumping on call, even consultation call these days are not happening. So I wanted to pick and choose and see what is their current situation, and how long they've been in the job market and what they're struggling with. So I'm picking the ones that I feel that I could add the most value to right away, and jump on a quick consultation call with you. So Amit and I actually jump on a quick call, and we are going to work on a live mock interview coming up. Okay, I'm really excited for that. Yes, I'm coming back to reality now slowly. Who else is there? Gloria. Hey, Gloria. Samir. Hey, Samir. I think this is your first time, yeah? Hi, Lalu. Lalu was here last week as well. Luciana, I think this is like your third time coming here. By the way, guys, ironically, as a diversity coach, even though I'm here to help everyone, but I have received 3 messages from some of you who just joined, and I see you popping in. Thank you so much for letting me know that you've received a job offer from Amazon just by showing up every Tuesday. If you could, please leave it in the comment below and let everyone know what part of my strategy had worked for you, what position you got the job offer for, basically information that would contribute to the group, okay? Thank you so much. Hey, Red Riding Hood. Hi, Marianne. If I can't pronounce your name correctly, please do jump in and show me the right path. Hey, Oliver. Linda, hi, you came back. Hi, Mike. A dream bear, hello. Hi, Joe. Hi, Carl. Samir. My friend is here, Andre is here. Now, I don't know if he's proud about this, but I hired this man from South America and relocated him to Amazon about 5 years ago. Hey! Oh my goodness, thank you. He just want to pop in to support me. Hey, Wilmer. Hey, Yulia. Vanessa. Okay. I want to thank everyone by name because I think it's important to get personal and acknowledge other people's coming in. But now, hey, Liliana. Okay, I need to stop myself. I'm going to go straight on for the next 2 hours and just focus on answering all of your questions, okay? Oh, wow, this is a new feature. Are you guys seeing this chat coming up on the left side column on YouTube? This is new. This is completely new to me. Awesome. Okay. Renee, you're the first person, smart man, showing up early and putting down your questions. Let me drag your stuff here so everyone can see what I'm talking about. Renee says, well, I'm in tech since I was very young, fixing and selling computers at age 13. Always knew this is what I want to do. And guys, when you're typing, don't hit enter, because once you hit enter, it will keep on jumping, and I don't want to miss the rest of your question, okay? I have a couple of you guys telling me that I've never answered your question, because if you hit enter before typing out your question, I don't see them until the very middle or end part, because a lot of people are coming in at the same time, okay? Make sure you finish and then hit enter. All right, after college, I founded a couple of startups and started my 12-year career beginning as a developer, eventually moving up to leading a managing position. And Renee also says, I think I would be great for a TPM role because it fits perfectly with my background and that I love doing many things at once. Okay, here's my feedback. This is tell me about yourself. A lot of things are missing here. Let me first tell you what I like about tell me about yourself is very powerful, guys. Let me repeat myself. Very powerful. You could almost fail, or I shouldn't say fail, not do so well in other behavioral questions, but tell me about yourself, or, why are you qualified? Why should we hire you? What do you do? Basically, what do you do in an interview setting, right? Everyone, especially when you're interviewing for a big tech company with senior and above position, everyone's going to ask you, so tell me about yourself, what are you about? How do you add value? It doesn't matter how they ask you. The bottom line is, why should they hire you? So the good thing, what I have gathered here, and I'm not being biased, Renee, because I know that you and I have worked together a little bit on the Patreon community. I know a little bit about your background. So to eliminate my biases, I know nothing about you, and I'm listening to what you're saying. And audience, feel free to give him feedback as well, right? I don't know you. I know that you love building computers. You're a geek at a very young teenage age. I know that you started your career about 12 years ago, and you grew your career from a developer to TPM. But I don't know how your added value is. I don't know who you have impacted. What is your ROI? What is your achievement? Were you able to save a company XYZ amount of money, or do you have any dollars? I know you have that. That's why I brought it up, Renee. Also, who are your customers, right? I can't tell who your customers are. So here's how I would rewrite this. And by the way, tell me about yourself. It is a 60-second elevator pitch. Check out first video. I know that I talk about 60-second and STAR methods. This is why. Yes, I want you guys to live and breathe and think about the STAR method, even though you're not exactly telling me the situation, STAR, action, and result, but you know what the problem is, right? Situation and task. Guess what? What problem did you solve? Tell me about yourself. What problem did you solve? And what was your end result? That's it, right? So I would say, I have 12 years of technical experience. I actually started my career as an engineer, have a huge passion, also consider myself as a geek, as a developer. In the last ABC years, I've been a technical project manager or program managers in helping startup as an architect in solving some of the complex systems problems, such as just one quick line, right? I'm really interested in your opportunity in AWS as a senior TPM, because it's really an organic move for me being in the cloud environment and moving to AWS, where I can continue. No, actually, you know what? I don't like that. Let's start over again. Okay, let's just scratch that out. I like it, but I don't. Okay, let's see. Let me just wash that out. I have 12 years of technical experience. I grew my career as an engineer. And in the last 5+ years, I became a technical architect, which is very similar to your technical program manager position at AWS, where I am extremely passionate in working very close with customers. Who are your customer, right? With customers in solving the system architecture. Do you have an example of problem that you've solved for the customers? This is why I'm so interested in AWS, because I feel like it's such an organic move for me to continue building even more experience in the most customer-centric company in the world, and at the same time, leveling up my TPM experience. And I'll just shut up right there. What I just said right there shouldn't be any more than 30 seconds, okay? So along that line, and that's how I would put it. Okay, hey Ashma. You're loving this live, thank you. I'm just coming back to reality right now. I'm slowly coming back. Okay. Ashma says, I have a background in supply chain where I have upwards of 1 year experience in supply chain planner position where I manage capacity planning and scheduling of 3 shifts of more than 7 operators. Do you have more? Hang on. And Ashma says, and okay, this is what I mean by finishing all up, okay? I have a background in supply chain where I have upwards of 1 year experience in a supply chain planner position where I manage capacity planning, scheduling of 3 shifts of more than 70 operators. That's too much word. And technician to achieve and maintain productivity goals for sites and keeping up. So basically you're telling them what your job description is. So Ashma, is that it? Okay. So Ashma, what I like to see is the template. If you think about my video is called Get Hired. It's called Get Hired. It's in the um, interview strategies and playlists. In interview preparation and strategies playlist, the video is called Get Hired. How do you get hired? There's a whole template on there where I wrote, tell me about yourself. And I mentioned that it's important, it's great to highlight how many years experience do you have, right? I would say, I have XYZ number of years in the supply chain operation industry. Some of the problems that I was able to solve in regards to planning and scheduling was for more than 70 operators at one time. My customers are, who are your customers? Especially when you're interviewing for Amazon, and I talked about this in my number one most priority Amazon leadership principle, you have to tie whatever questions you answer. I don't care if you're an engineer, you're a TPM, you're a VP, who are your customer and how are you adding value to your customer, okay? So in this case, I love the fact that you mentioned that you're a little bit of your background is planning, scheduling. Drop the shift. No one cares about the shift because you will have plenty of shifts at Amazon. If it sounds too low level or not large scale, just drop it. I would just simply say XYZ number of year where I have managed capacity planning and scheduling for more than 70 operators. I'm interested in this position because, right? Why is that? And if you, and I would also mention just one-liner who your customers are. Who are your customers that you've helped with planning, scheduling with more than 70 operators? And keep it like that, short, sweet, to the point, no more than 3 sentences. 4 is absolutely max. If you have saved a company like $1 million or 20% year over year cost or whatever, things like that. I know, Renee, I'm looking at you right now. I know you've done something like that. It's not on here. Okay, so Ashma, if you have things like that, mention it. But I love the fact that you're giving me the 70 operators, all right? Okay, hey Amit, hey! Nice connecting with you yesterday. About myself is, okay, Amit says, I'm highly skilled technical leader for 10 plus years of experience, expertise in mobility, cloud computing, NVF test automation. I have been a technical advocate for major telco operators. Is that it? I have deployed complex solution and solved various complex problems. Who are your customers? Who are your customer? The reason why I asked who are your customer, who are you solving the problems for, it's allowing Amazons to know how large of a scope the environment was and what were this, was it relevant to the environment that you're applying for at Amazon, okay? There's a big difference between startup versus mid-size versus large enterprise company like an Amazon, okay? I like it, but I don't love it. Here's what I've changed. Number one, never mention I'm highly skilled because that's almost saying I'm an expert in. I know some coaches may disagree with me. I just don't like to call myself an expert in something. Maybe on your resume, you could say areas of expertise. That's completely different. But when it comes to having a conversation, I would say I am a technology leader with more than 10 plus years of experience in mobility, cloud computing, and NVF test automation. By the way, if you're interviewing for a position that has nothing to do with NVF, I wouldn't even mention NVF. I would just say test automation because you sound really good, right? You mentioned leader, you mentioned 10 years, you mentioned mobility and cloud computing. That's all AWS. And then if you mention a language where they're not understanding, you don't want them to pause because you got them really excited already. Okay, so one more time, I'm a technical leader with 10 plus years of experience in mobility, cloud computing, and test automation industry. Stop, that's it. You don't need to talk about major telco operators. Where are you? And your next line is, let me show everyone what I'm looking at. I have deployed complex solution and solved various problems for XYZ customers. Okay, what type of customer? Or you can say I have deployed complex solution and solve various problems for telco customers. I'm just making that up. I'm not really sure if that's your whole background. Okay, end it like that. I think if you put what I just said, first sentence, really I have 2 sentences there and it took me what, 10 seconds. Okay? If anybody, if any of you were to challenge me, and I know some of you have worked with me and showed up, thank you by the way, even, tell me a time where you have failed, tell me a time where you have convinced someone that you don't see eye to eye with. I can answer anything you want me to, and I will coach you to do so in 30 seconds to 60 seconds, okay? And this is a pure example. It shouldn't take you that long. Hey, Samir. Hey, Lalu. Wash hands. Oh my God, this is funny. I have to share this comment. He says, wash hand. Hey, Luciana. If you have any more questions, Luciana, drop them down. And by the way, I will do a live Q&A right after this. I want to make sure this time, third time is a charm. I don't want to miss anyone else's questions. So I want to be sure that I'm answering all of it, okay? Good luck, Linda. Oh, hi, Marianne. Thanks for coming back from Spain. Joe says, love these lives. Big day tomorrow. Pod interview. Can we all give it a whoop whoop to Joe and wish him the best of luck in his on-site interview or virtual interview tomorrow, please? I know, Carl. I feel you. I'm trying to not think about it or talk about it. If not, I'll be frazzled all over again. Red Riding Hood from the Bay Area. Today I have an interview at Amazon with Peer. How do I end my interview? What do you mean you have an interview with Peer? Are you having a phone interview? Is that what you mean? How do I end my interview? You don't really end your interview. They will end the interview with you. I actually mentioned the type of questions to ask in the end of the interview because most likely they'll ask you if you have any questions, and that's how you know your interview is over, right? So rather than being redundant, go check out, I actually, in my Amazon interview tips Q&A or live, it's just live Amazon interview tips, right? I list out every single thing that we're talking about week over week. So if you go and look at interview questions to ask, interviewer, you click on that, it brings you, boom, straight to the link. And I have a couple recommendations there. Another option is my Patreon's team. Renee, I think, I'm not really sure, either Renee or Ahmed, one of you guys pinged me to, you have some questions about the most commonly asked for TPM. There's questions around what type of smart questions to ask the hiring managers, your peers, or other leaders outside of your team in an interview setting. So I've actually created a template that I've dragged from my Career Accelerator Masterclass. Basically, the templates that I have, I will share it to the audience in my Patreon community, okay? Check that out. If you don't see a whole lot of document on there, because I don't like to spam, I like to give people what they're looking for, okay? Hey, Richard. Richard says, Mexico City. I got scheduled the first phone interview with the MXFC leader for the ACES senior PM position, continuous improvement. Thank you. I'm like, what is that? Continuous improvement, which type of questions I might expect? Again, look at my previous one of all of my live playlist. There is a lot of interview tips for program manager, okay, and even OPM as well. Look at those, because if I were to give you those questions right now, I would probably spend an hour just giving it all to you. And you guys know I have to talk about Glassdoor, right? Especially for PM and product and TPM position and engineering, it's all over Glassdoor, okay? Even some of the commonly asked questions that I have shared on my Patreon page, guess where I got that from? I basically compile a lot of that from Glassdoor. Some of them, of course, I've twisted in a way where I've added a couple things that I would want to ask you, okay? Hey, Samir. Samir says, I cleared 2 rounds of interview and got selected for the third. Is this phone interview? I'm sorry, on-site. What and how to prepare for 5 to 8 hours interview session? That's a great question. You know what, I'm a little bit behind in schedule. Originally, I was going to create a whole playlist on how to prepare for phone screen, on-site, questions to ask, so on and so forth. But so many people have asked about the Amazon leadership principle, and with the time that I had, and it took almost an entire day to film, record, and edit, it takes a lot of time. So the leadership principle goes first. I am going to work on a video that is called how to prepare for an Amazon on-site interview. The way how you prepare for an Amazon on-site interview, to be honest, use every single thing I talk about with other employers. I don't want you guys to put all your eggs in one basket. Amazon probably won't appreciate me saying this. Good thing I don't work for them. But you shouldn't think about you shouldn't look at me, first of all, as just an Amazon interview coach. I'm a career coach for all the tech company. And I've actually worked for all of the big ones and a couple of the startup, okay? The way how you should prepare is, you know that it's gonna be anywhere between 45 minutes to an hour. Depending on the position that you're interviewing for, Samir, you just need to answer those behavioral questions really, really well. You shouldn't even ask me what are some of the questions for PM or TPM. It really doesn't matter, guys. If you want me to be honest with you, I know this because the people that I have coached for my interview accelerator program and the people who have worked with me so far, knock on wood, just interviewing alone, by the way, if you need my help to coach you on interviewed, I no longer have an hour interview coaching because it does not work, okay? I've tried it, I've done it, I felt shitty because I end up dragging it to 2 hours anyway to help you, and then I end up dragging it more because I care, okay? It's gonna take us at least 2 hours to go through the top questions for you, which I've researched, by the way. Before our time together, we are doing mock interview and reverse interview, similar to this, but live over Zoom. And then I have to look at your storytelling and telling you exactly what to say. You could imagine if you want interview prepped or anything interview related, it's gonna take at least 2 to 3 hours, 2 at the bare minimum, okay? But I will put a video out there. I'll also share a link with some of the basic calmly interview questions. Check out my top 8 Amazon leadership principle. The questions are there. I promise you, professional, I promise you guys, if you can answer all of those questions, and if you could answer them and articulate them like the STAR method, and if you would use your phone right here and hit the record button and see what you sound like and be able to improve and articulate yourself and use your spouse or best friend to do mock interview with, if you follow every single one of my teaching, you will get a job. Because every single month, there's an average of 3 to 5 of you guys who tells me, just yesterday and today alone, there's 3 of you guys who told me that you got a job just by doing everything I told you to, okay? I mean, as much as I would love to take your money, you don't need to even hire me or pay me. Everything's already there for you. I probably shouldn't say that, but yes. Wilmer, you're so funny. I just mentioned that I'm not an Amazon interview coach. I'm just a coach who used to work for Amazon. Maybe if I changed my branding, I would, I wonder if my YouTube channel would blow up if I just call myself the Amazon career coach. I'm just joking, that's not happening. Hey Marianne says, I have only one question. If you discarded from the panel and reject from the process, will this penalize for future position in Amazon? That's a really good question, Marianne. When you are discarded from the panel and rejected from the process, it really depends on the reason. I wouldn't say you will be penalized. I think it's case by cases depending on why, right? Generally, when you don't make it through the on-site process, it takes 6 months to a year, and I talked about this in the last couple live as well. And it seems the pattern that I'm hearing from a lot of my clients is that the recruiters are not sharing any feedback at all, which understandable. But here's a biggest tip I can give all of you guys, instead of just waiting for someone to give you feedback on your interview, okay? As soon as you're done with your interview, before your memory fades, like me, you write down the type of questions the interviewer asks you, okay? You just think about the questions and the answer and how you answer them, and be honest with yourself. If you didn't get the job, when there's certain areas that you don't do well, okay? That's the truth. Hey, Vanessa. Thanks for all your help. I'm happy to say I got scheduled my first phone interview. Yay! Oh, let me put my coffee. Yay! On June 12th for delivery station manager. Is there a specific type of questions I should expect? First, have you already tried to just Google it? You don't have to go to Glassdoor. Just Google and put station manager position at Amazon and see what comes up with, okay? You don't really have to have specific interview questions like I mentioned, but you need to know your credential extremely well. The interviewers, when they ask you what is called questions, the ones that I have shared as mentioned on my leadership principle playlist, it's your background and how you answered those leadership principles, okay? So you obviously want to talk about your management experience in the delivery setting, okay? And you of course have to talk about the most complex problem that you have solved and who are your customer, and how do you go above and beyond delivering to your customer. What about a time that you wish you could have gone back and do something differently? Where did you fail, that you've made a mistake? And what was the time that you didn't agree with your manager or your superior? Those questions are extremely common. I can't remember any interviewer that I've been in where nobody asked any of those questions, okay? At the bare minimum, you need to know that, but the most important thing is you need to know your background very well and your achievement. You have to. What was your impact at your former companies? Okay? Good luck. Let me know how that goes. I feel like every time I say that, someone's going to send me an email and say, Holly, I got the job offer from Amazon. Hey, Vinny, India is in the house. Yay! I'm just excited when I see international. Hey, Jose. Thank you for coming back from Costa Rica. Oh, I miss Amsterdam. You see this coffee that I'm drinking over here? I'm very embarrassed to say that this is Starbucks instant coffee. Because of my renovation, I don't have my kettle or anything, and I just don't feel like we purchasing, speak Holly, everything all over again. So I miss the coffee in Amsterdam. I could even drink it black. That's how good and dark it is. Hey, hi, Rita. I am Rita, moved to US recently and got TAM reference at Amazon. When you say TAM reference is that technical account manager. That's usually what TAM means. Last week, I passed a technical screening. Nice, congratulations. I will be putting out a video on how to pass a phone interview, how to talk to a recruiter, phone interview, and on-site. I don't want to work backward, but it's going to start in that order coming up soon. But to be honest with you guys, you get more out of me showing up live every Tuesday. Hey, Louisiana says I'm here every Tuesday. I know, thank you so much for coming back to support me. YouTube really want to see engagement, so YouTube actually helped promote my content, especially during live streaming. I am having a really big problem today with my speech because they want to see engagement. They want to make sure that I'm adding value. So when you guys are here putting in your comment, excellent, you're supporting me and my child. Thank you. Hey, Mike the man says, this is not Nasher. Hi, Nasher. How are you? I hope you're all safe in this pandemic time. Thank you, Mike. Rita says, and by the way, the reason why I'm doing what I'm doing right now, and some of you kept on pressing enter, even though I told you not to. I want to make sure I've answered your question, and because I'm only using my MacBook Pro and I don't have my second and third monitor, it takes me a while to scroll through all the questions so I don't miss it, okay? I used your clue for the first screaming phone and got the loop in 2 weeks. Yay! Thank you for sharing those feedback. And this is just going to motivate everyone that's here. Hey, Carl, how are you? First time live, long time listener, couple of weeks. Oh, thank you. You guys are hiding in the background. If you enjoy my video, please do give me a thumbs up. I'm not talking about my live stream, but my other video. Guys, it takes a long time. Like live, I don't prep. I basically just show up as who I am, and I'll give you feedback with no biases as of you are my client, and this is exactly how I would coach them. Well, not on YouTube, but on Zoom, okay? But when it comes to pumping up content every single week on top of this, it takes a long time to edit, and I am very time limited without any light in the house at all. This is natural light, by the way. Okay? Interviewing for TPM on Alexa orchestration. Oh, I love Alexa. It's like, wait, hang on. Let me just. Oh, I miss my Echo show. I wish all of my Echo devices are here right now. It's my last baby. Written portion turned in yesterday. Awesome. So that means you're interviewing for a level 6 or senior position. Nice. Let me know how that goes. And if you guys are curious as to what Carl talked about with the written portion, is the writing exercise. That's for level 6 and above for all of the tech role, including like TPMs, and level 6 for the non-tech. Go check out my writing exercise. That video came out on Monday. Okay? Hey, Daniel. Daniel says, apply for OPE. OPE is Operation Manager position. Passed the phone interview and now have a Chime interview with multiple managers. Is this a Pollute on-site or instead of on-site due to COVID? Chime, think of Chime as a Skype or Google Hangout, okay? Everything is virtual right now. And honestly, I know that some organization, I don't know about Amazon, like I think I read something that companies like Google are opening back up in, I want to say like July 20th or something, that their employees are going back in the office. Don't quote me on that. So some organizations are open again. My advice to you, you guys can do whatever you want, but I will not physically go to a building with a bunch of germs and God knows what's going on in there just to get a job, okay? So if you're interviewing for companies outside of an Amazon where you can do it remotely over Chime, which is video interview, go do that or suggest that, because it is very unsafe for you guys to do that just so that you can pay some bills, all right? Let me know how your on-site interview goes, Daniel. Hey, Wilmer. Wilmer, by the way, hey, if you guys are looking at this right now, check out Wilmer Alfredo Bolivar's icon. That's an excellent, actually like this, that's an excellent photo. So regarding to your LinkedIn profile, that is perfect. Well, you don't need to suit up or have a nice background, but his face is so crisp with the production quality in his photo. Okay, and that's exactly what you need. This is my first time here. I applied exactly a month ago, engagement manager, Spanish, and it still says application submitted. Wish me luck, please. Wow, a month ago is a really long time. So is the position still open? Because sometimes they fill the position and it will appear to still be posted. Because organization use a platform, right? Like LinkedIn or even Monster, Dice.com, or internally where internally, I guess they can take it down right away. But if they pay for a service, the job actually stays live for about 30, 60 days or so. Okay, that could be a reason. Don't quote me on that, but good luck. Hey, Terry, I think this is your first time here. Hey, Serge. I have my first screen interview tomorrow, watching your video last days. Thank you, AWS Supply Chain Management, Senior UX Designer. That's awesome. For UX Designer, you have to, and just from I have never supported AWS, by the way, guys. I've supported consumer retail space on the e-commerce space and all of consumer electronic devices, Kindle, and Alexa, okay? And I have, and my team have hired a lot of UX UI designer, and I know for a fact that you have to put a proposal together. So if you haven't done that already, you will have to submit a portfolio of your work. Lord help me, I can't speak today. You guys can tell that I'm affected with what's going on outside. But I'm still showing up because this is a commitment and I want to make sure that I'm here for you. Oh, thanks, Serge. Oh, okay. I didn't realize that. Renee says max 200 characters. We need to be in here. Oh, wow. I did not know that. So I just yell at you for nothing. Sorry about that. How is Amazon virtual onboarding these days? That's a really good question. Well, first of all, I don't work for Amazon. I haven't been for 2 years, but I would imagine Amazon already are on top of it. Amazon is one of Amazon and Google actually. Amazon is one of the company that is very on top of their things, okay? Generally, the hiring manager will put an onboarding plan together at least a couple days or a week prior to your start date at Amazon. It doesn't matter what role, what position. And they will also assign an onboarding buddy to you, which means the manager doesn't want to do his work and throw you away to an onboarding buddy. I'm just kidding. This is most likely your peer and someone in your team to help you get ramped up. So if you have questions, you would have a list of people to reach out to, like setting up your equipment, the platform or software you're using, and etc. Okay, so I don't imagine any of that to change. It would just be virtually. Okay. Nice. Look at this. Red Riding Hood listens and actually recorded his answer. I say a lot of in my answer. Will that be a problem? Yes, that will be a problem. I just said Well, I'm not recording a content for you guys. This is very raw, okay? If I'm in an interview mode, then it'd be completely different. So as I coach clients live over Zoom, and the things that I make my clients do, and I will give you guys the same tip, use a sticky note and put it right alongside of your monitor, and just say never in the word red and put like, and then I think so, right? Any word that has doubt, that will lack trust or lack earning trust from other people. And people use like and 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 then and I think way too much. So that's why I want you to record and listen to yourself. Okay? Do it again and again and again about 50 times. And when I say 50 times, I really mean 50 times. Not kidding. Satendra. Hi, Satendra. Hello. Many thanks for your videos. Had my second interview today. Both technical, selected for third for a principal solution architect. Thank you for all your advice. What should I expect in the next round? I will say in the next round, when you say the third round, are we still talking about phone interview, or have you moved on to an on-site interview? So whatever nature that may be, you need to make sure that you think about your technical background that have not asked. Generally, when you have more than one phone interview with any company at all, that means that you probably didn't answer the questions fully in the first phone interview, okay? Company normally just do one phone interview and then one on-site. So if you have to do multiple phone interview with the hiring manager or someone on the business side, that means you are not telling them the answer to their satisfaction, or you meet the bar at 70% and not like 80 or 90% enough where they can invite you to an on-site interview to explore more about your credential. Okay, that's what it means. Hey Oliver, I'm having my final round of virtual interview with 5 Amazonians next Wednesday for media monitoring lead position. How should I maximize my call with the recruiter prep call tomorrow? That's a great question. The recruiter at Amazon should send you a lot of documentation to help you prep for the interview. Aside from that, they will share all the info that they have regarding the group, the team, and the role, because they do partner very well with the hiring managers and usually know the team. Okay, I would, before asking questions, I will see how the what type of material the recruiter can provide for you. It's good for you to make sure that you know who's interviewing you, as in not just their name, but what positions are those interviewers. It's important because at the end of the interview, if you were to ask the interviewer questions, you want it to be relevant, right? Let me give you an example. You're not going to ask your peer if you have a peer interviewing you and you ask them questions like, so what is your expectation for someone in this position to get ramped up? I mean, ask the hiring manager that, don't ask your peer, right? So it's good for you to be prepared and also prepare your question. Again, it's on my Patreon. Hey, Krishna. Krishna says, I have interviews from project manager, non-technical role. I have 18 years experience in retail and hospitality services managing projects. Can you advise which core leadership principle? That would be all the leadership principle. Guys, as mentioned earlier, it doesn't matter if you're tech or non-tech. The leadership principle is the foundation of behavioral question, okay? The leadership principle is a way for them to open that can of worm to dig deep. It's allowing the interviewer to dig deep depending on what you answer. Each interviewer normally asks you about 2 to 3 questions. They don't need to ask, they're not gonna ask you 10 questions. Why? Because they'll ask you 1 question and they'll ask you about a 3 to 4, sometimes 5 probing question, okay? So the more you understand the commonly asked behavioral questions, and I pretty much lay it all out for you guys. It's in my Amazon Leadership Principle playlist, okay? And I can't help you answer those questions without personally coaching you live, because I need to hear what you're telling me. I need to see what's on your resume, and I need to be able to tear it apart with you watching me do it, and that's how you learn, okay? And that's how you do it, all right? Don't be so fixated, guys, on the exact questions to ask. Pay attention more to your background. What have you done? Everything that I've just talked about. But if you could answer those questions, you would be great. And just to let you guys know, for the clients that I did work with, some of the feedback I got, and I'm always open for feedback, right? And that's how I know where to put my time and my investment in my coaching session with you guys. I've been told that everything that I talked about is very similar or to the exact when they interview at Amazon, okay? And these are coming from directors of engineers, VP of business development, directors of finance, and on, okay? You guys could see here, they're not in one single industry or one single position area. It's spread out. So don't pay so much attention to what are they gonna ask me exactly. They're gonna ask you things that are on your resume, okay? But tie around the leadership principle and know that well. Red Riding Hood says, do I have to mention each and every role provided the achievement in those roles? No, it's all about how you articulate your story. It's nice when you open up to provide your example, to tell them, you know, for example, if you're a software engineer, I'm making this up, I can't remember what position you're interviewing for. Let's just say that if you are a software engineer or a program manager, since a lot of you guys are, I would just say, well, as a program manager at XYZ company, okay? But if you've been with the same company, you don't have to repeat yourself. So when you're providing an answer, don't be redundant. Don't say, I'm a software engineer, No, don't. Unless you have a new position title that's adding value to the role that you're interviewing for, do mention that to make yourself sound better. If not, don't do that, okay? And try not to be redundant by, let me give you an example of what I mean by redundant. You know, 5 years, in 2015 at this company, I've done this. In 2019 at this company, don't even talk about the year, okay? That's too redundant. Hey, hello, Yelia. Yelia says, I'm a seasoned tech leader that helps technology teams and their stakeholders go through challenges and with ambiguous I can't talk, ambiguities. Thank you, Holly. Goodness, towards delivering the best possible solutions to the clients. I like that. I like that. That's actually very pretty. The one thing I will do different is, I'm a tech leader with XYZ years of experience. What I am a tech leader with XYZ years of experience, helping technology teams and stakeholders go through challenges and ambiguities towards delivering the best possible solutions for the clients. Boom, right there. Okay, that's kind of Amazonian, because anything that has to do with ambiguity is really big at Amazon. You'll probably be dealing with that every single day there. Okay, it's great. So you tell your personal story, but you don't have to tell the whole thing. Okay. Maybe this is just me. I just don't like to mention like I am, or like I'm a seasoned, or I'm an expert. I will try to avoid that. I will just cut down to, as a tech leader with, 10 plus years experience in the technology industry, helping stakeholders go through all types of complex challenges relating to ambiguity towards delivering the best possible solution to the clients. Boom, right there. And I'm interested in this position because I would love to continue impacting boom, boom, boom. Basically, one more sentence. Okay? That's really nice. At least you're allowing me to know more about your background without knowing anything about you. Hey, CS. I love your hair. I love your photo, by the way. Hi again. I have a phone interview with AWS tomorrow for the engagement manager position. Anything specific suggest I should mention to tell me about yourself? Yes, if you've heard a couple of the example I've just given, just make sure that you appear very concise and straight to the point. Try to keep it to 3 sentences if you can't. And in your tell me about yourself, you need to make sure that you have answered the questions, allowing your interviewer to have your career highlight. Basically, why should they hire you? What do you bring on the table? And why you, I mean, you don't have to do this, but I like as a hiring manager and as an interviewer, I like to know basically why are you interviewing for my position, right? Why this team? Especially at Amazon, there's so many teams. Why this team, right? If you could tie something that's more relatable with the audience, that's usually giving you a boost, right? Obviously, if every single person is going to ask you, tell me about yourself, you're not going to give the exact same answer, right? The same answer you should give them is, well, I have 10 years experience, example, as a technology leader in solving problems in the system architecture, something like along that line. But in the last sentence, I'm really interested in this project because of XYZ's technology, that I'd be able to continue building great products and services across the world. I feel like I would be able to grow my career in that direction. So just something along that line. But this is basically interviewing with like a peer or someone that's not a hiring manager, so on and so forth. But the intent here is that you don't want to give the exact same answer to a T to every single interviewer. Okay? And if we were to work together, I love Google Doc. Some of you know that. I've worked with some of you guys. Everything that I've done is on Google Doc, where I could see, I actually type your answer, and I'll fix it. I'll write down things that I like, and we'll fix it together. So that's what storytelling is. Okay? That's what I mean, guys. The more you write things down, the more you practice. A lot of people may think that this is really silly. It's tell me about myself, Holly. Why should I be here? Why did you spend 2 hours, 3 hours talking about this? Because no one has been able to answer this. My clients are VP level, and when I asked them to tell me about myself, they were just all over. The cow comes home, then the sky is blue, and I get really confused and cluster in what they're trying to tell me. Okay? So your job is to be simplistic of what you're offering and why should someone hire you. Okay? Hey, Fahim. I have my first technical interview for Senior Business Intelligence Engineer. First time here. Welcome to my channel. I'm going through, tell me about yourself. Do I need more for technical interview? Thank you. Well, if you're interviewing for business intelligence or BI engineer, the only technical part is the technology that is used for that. If you don't know what the technical environment is, defer back to the job description. Everything that's under basic requirement is a must. That's exactly what you will be doing. It's Amazon. So yes, everything that's listed on there and those technology, it is for that environment. Also look at preferred qualification, okay? If you don't have the exact systems or they have done the exact software program that the role calls for, what are some of the relevant systems that could translate to what they're asking of you, okay? Because with different organization, just because you've done it at ABC company doesn't mean that it's the same system at Amazon, okay? I hope that makes sense. Give me a thumbs up if that makes sense to you. That's the only technical part, is understanding. When I think about BI engineer, in a way, they're kind of like, I don't want to say they're, what's the word that I'm trying to use? They're kind of like engineering evangelists, right? They're technical, but they're not, right? They just need to know the foundation or fundamental of the technologies. They don't necessarily fix it. That's what the engineers are there for. Hey, Rohan. Rohan says, my recruiter at Amazon told me to keep my answer 2 to 3 minutes. Lord, that's really long. I feel I need to at least explain the context and takes about a minute or under. If I fast forward the content situation, I love these. By the way, all of my clients tells me the exact same thing. It feels I'm forcing myself to get to the task and action. Well, that's the whole point. You're forcing yourself to speed things, not speeding things up. You're forcing yourself to be concise, okay? And that's what you're forcing yourself to do. That's why, my friends, if you write down your answer and go back and have a sentence for each and every single STAR, you will be concise and it will be stick in your brain. You memorized it. You can change it as you're more comfortable with your memorization, and you're not forcing yourself because you memorized it, right? With this may look like I'm forwarding to actions right away. I disagree with that. I understand though, because everyone gives me the same feedback. But when you're using the STAR method to create your answer for behavioral questions, I'll eventually be putting an answer on there. I haven't had the moment to do that. I'm just being very frank and honest here. It's very, very simple, right? You can ask me, and we just did tell me about yourself, okay? Even if you were to ask me, let me give you guys an example, okay? So that I don't even care what the interview question is, to be honest. Let's just say, what is the most complex problem you have solved? That is something that everyone and their mom is gonna ask you, especially senior level and above, okay? And someone please time me, and I want somebody to put in the comment how long it took for me to answer that question. And I will try to stay in 1 minute. When it comes to really complex thing, unless it's very good, that you're not going to bore the interviewer, okay? Sure, go 2 minutes, but you don't need to, okay? Someone start the timer and tell me when I can go. Okay, here we go. During my time at Amazon's consumer retail, when I joined, my goal was to hire 20 people for that quarter. 2 months later, my 20 head to hire turned into 180. I knew that I immediately had to build a business proposal to ask for headcount and build out a recruiting workforce to start planning out recruiting event, which I had no experience in. I quickly put a 20-page white paper together and presented to Jeff Wilkie and his exec team, got the budget approval, quickly hire a staff of 7 people, trained them, and we were able to execute my recruiting strategies and built 2 dev centers in Madrid, Spain, and Austin within 8 months, period. Someone please tell me how long that took. That should be about 30 seconds. Do you see where I'm going? If you have an example, you want to see how I do it, leave it in the very bottom, okay? You don't have to, if you know, the more you know about yourself, the more, and I want to be very raw with you guys. You know, my job is to add value. My job is to not say things to make you feel better. My job is to say things to help you. If you have the experience, it will come out very quick, very fast. If you have the experience, you're rusty in interview and you don't know how to do, you haven't done it, it's gonna take some time. But guys, I'm telling you, everything that I am sharing, it's already on all of my video. You have to start, you need to follow them and create your story, okay? Let me know what other questions that you'd like me to answer. I can't answer them in your perspective because I don't have your resume in front of you. If I do, I guarantee I could tear it apart and answer something very similar. Not building a recruiting workforce, of course, okay? Hey, Kalal Bazooka. Oh, is that your bike? That's a pretty bad, I want to say badass bike. That's a pretty bike. What about the example SHL? Is necessary? What's SHL? Can you, what about the exam? What is SHL? I don't know what that is. If you could please clarify that, okay? Hey, Hanover. Hanover says, can we apply in more than one position? Usually Amazon is very specific roles and multiple people on the team being in similar company. One ends up doing multiple things and fit multi positions. No, I agree with you. You can absolutely apply for multiple positions, but I will not apply for more than 3 different org. Amazon only has like what, AWS, consumer electronic device or devices, and they have retail, right? So 3 major businesses. So if you, the odds are, if you have cloud experience, it would be just AWS. I wouldn't apply more than 3 positions, and I would make sure the position title are the same or similar, because as a recruiter, my first impression is if I come across a great TPM, technical program manager, and I see them applying for a technical program manager to Amazon Music, Amazon Video, and then consumer, I'm like, wait a minute, but your background is in retail, e-commerce. Are you interested in music and video, but you don't have any background in that? So to me, that may just be a red flag that someone is desperate and they just want to get a job. I'm not really sure what they want. The thing about recruiter is that we don't, as much as we love to, we don't have the time to talk to every single person who applied. It has to be your resume that looks like you have already met the job at 80%, okay? Meaning at the very bare minimum, do you have the industry experience? If it's not necessary industry, what about the scope that you're doing? Do you have that experience? Okay. I hope that answers your questions. I will keep it no more than 3, and I will not be applying to like a TPM and then a program manager and then a project manager. TPM is right here, by the way, guys. Okay. That's technical program manager, and then you have the program manager who one day wants to become, some of them do want to be a TPM because they want to get more in-depth technical, but below that, a project manager. You see where I'm going? You don't want to apply to all of this. You want to stay here. Andrew, you came back. You keep on coming. Yay! I love it. So Anna received a job offer a week ago, and I've asked for her to come back and not just to support me, to motivate you guys, because a lot of you are asking questions like what to expect for the on-site interview, you know, what I expect for a technical phone interview, what does the offer look like, and are they doing on-site interview physically or over Chime? So for those who already received a job offer, feel free to jump in and answer those questions as well when you see them coming in, okay? Hey, Yulia, here, let's check out your story. Yulia says, I'm a tech leader that, make sure you put, okay, well, yeah, you put it there, but I will move that up a little. I am a tech leader that helps technology teams and their stakeholder to go through challenges and ambiguities towards develop. Oh, have I already done this? Or that's weird. I thought I have already done that. I believe I have. Oh, this is weird. My chat is now moving to different directions, but I don't remember reading a lot of this. Here's a new one, Yulia. I have been in tech for 15 years. I started as a software. Oh, I love that. Yes, 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 yes. Yes, mention how you start specifically as an engineer and moving up as a tech leader. Okay. Okay, sorry guys, I'm just getting overly excited. I've been in tech for 15 years. I started as a software engineer, but the majority of my experience is about program management with a focus on efficient execution and continuous improvement. I like that. You are a lady with words, good words. I have had a business role as well, and proficient in, let me show you guys what I'm reading. I have a business role as well. I'm proficient in expectation management for all stakeholder level. No, I wouldn't say that. That's just too much. I've delivered, yes, I like this. I have delivered about 20 programs up to 100 engineers across functional distribution. Yes, 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 yes. Okay, oh, sorry. I got so excited, I almost slammed my MacBook down to the floor. Yes, I love it. So here's what I would do. I would say, I've been a tech leader for 15 years. I grew my career as a software engineer, I grew my career as a software engineer and merged into program management position, focusing on efficiency, execution, and continuous improvement. I love that you mentioned that because that's what the role is calling for. And this is why they should hire you. I have delivered about 20 programs and up to 100 engineers across functional distributed team. I'm really interested in this position because I can see a lot of relevancy in my background and as well as an opportunity for me to gain knowledge in the AWS space or whatever space that is. Beautiful, I like it. Just add one more sentence on there, okay? So that's like 1, 2, 3 sentences that shouldn't take you more than 15 seconds. I know I talk a lot about like seconds. I know that I am a fan of no more than 60 seconds, but if you guys can tell, everything that I'm doing is about 15, 30 seconds. So if you have a recruiter that tells you that you should stick to 2 to 3 minutes, it's very lengthy. I don't know, maybe some career coaches would advise you for that. For me, I get bored, okay? And you have to understand, when you're interviewing for an environment that, first of all, most of the time, I can't remember ever going to any meeting at Amazon where people actually show up on time. They're busy. They're running from meeting to meeting. Some of them don't even take lunch. There are days where I don't even eat lunch, or I eat lunch at 3 p.m., okay? They're extremely busy. So if you're gonna spend 3 minutes in providing your answer, it's gotta be damn good. And I would keep it to 1 minute. Amit says, thank you, looking forward to participate in the mock interview. We'll be in touch. Hey Kishna. Kishna says, for a non-tech project manager role, what weaknesses, answers are strict, it cut off a strict no, and how do we address failure questions? For non-tech, either you're a tech or non-tech, the way how you address your answer with weaknesses is not really a weakness. I know that some of you that are watching already know this. Your weaknesses is basically based on an example where it doesn't affect your work, but you wish you could have done better in, okay? When you say, how do we address failure questions? Again, it's all depending on how you add value without really making yourself sound like things are falling apart, and what did you really learn from it. But first, let me answer your weaknesses. Again, I could have spent my time and make a video on every single behavioral questions. That was the direction I was going before everyone started reaching out to me and asked for the Amazon Leadership Principle, and that's why I've shifted gear. But let's do weaknesses, okay? Let me give you an example. If I were to be asked, and I've been a project manager, recruiting leader is project management, because we manage recruiting event, the stakeholders, all the way up to VP level. You know, I've managed, a true story. I have supported about 60 hiring leaders at Amazon. That's Alexa, 60, Okay, true story, right? It's all program project management. If you were to ask me, what are some of your weaknesses? I would say one of my ultimate weakness is my obsess with customer obsession. Let me explain myself, because in every project that I have been in, our goal is to hire in the recruiting org. And we want to be able to meet the hiring demand from our business teams. So, as you know, all our business leaders mention that their projects are high priority and we have to be on top of it, giving them bodies to deliver products and services for Amazon as quickly as possible. So because I'm so obsessed with my customers, there are times where I drove myself crazy by working 7 days a week and literally 15 hours a day. True story, by the way. In the end, I was able to deliver and make happy customer, which is hiring managers, and be able to do that and scale that across the world. That's it. It is my ultimate weakness, because I hate saying no to my customer when they need me, and I'm just really stubborn. I want to be able to deliver and exceed their expectation. Okay, that's an example of weaknesses. But you don't really have to say, I have a really tough time getting out of bed, because I'm not passionate for what I do. Okay? Don't say that. So you wanted to say things that are adding value and impact to an organization and your role, but it's taking a toll out of your personal life. But honestly, during that time, I enjoy it. It's actually a hobby for me, and I loved it. I know it sounds kind of weird. How do we answer the failure questions? Failure question is just having to think of an example where you have learned from. Okay, it's great if you have an area where you failed, where you wish you could have done better. You write it down, right? If you don't have an example, I can't help you with that. Okay, and if you want to see a personal experience from me, just leave it below. But I don't want to just talk about my experience without knowing your background, having your credential in front of me. If you're interested, I'm happy to, but I wanted to see what other people have to say. All right, Krishna? Hey, Luciana. I've been working in sales and recruitment in the field of higher education. I'm really sorry. I know that I don't remember a lot of your position and where you're from. That's because I get about 20% of the people that comes back, and majority of the 80% are new faces. And when there's comments coming in really fast, I don't have a moment to pause and think. I just don't want to waste that time. I've been working in sales and recruitment in the field of higher education for a decade. Having a hard transition to a recruiter role at Amazon. Love your tips. I've been learning so much. Super grateful for your time. Yeah. Wow. That's huge. I mean, I feel you, Luciana. Although, and for you guys know that I'm very raw. My mouth can sometimes get me into a lot of trouble because I like to be real, and that's why you keep on coming back, because I tell you things, from the heart and from my personal experience. So take it however you like. But Amazon is the toughest and hardest environment I've ever worked in my entire career. But I grew up there. I've learned so much, just like forcing myself to be the best that I could. And there's always something else. There's always another product, another business. So Amazon is looking for a unique aptitude. When I talk about aptitude, that's what I was talking about. Go check out my Why Amazon video, okay? And a lot of people ask me why I left Amazon. I didn't leave Amazon at bad term. It's just time for me to do something different and be a mom. That's really it. Now, I did not say that it's not a good place for a mom. So it's really depending on what you want to do. And I told a lot of my friends, even now, right? If I can look back in my career and if I have any regrets at all, generally I would say no. But if I could have gone back in time, I would probably stay at Amazon, because that's who I am. Look at what I'm doing now, guys. In the middle of, all the chaos, one after another in the world, being in a home where I don't even have a bed, like literally in renovation with a bunch of contractors in my room. Guess what? I'm still live streaming. So that's very, very Amazonian. Someone who's extremely customer obsessed, who are just, I'm not exaggerating, who's like dying to deliver, okay? And I love it. I love it. I like it. You know, I can do it all day long. I still have the energy to do so for the next 10 years. And I'm going to continue doing. It's not made for everyone. And a lot of you guys send me private messages. I spent the entire weekend from Saturday morning until like evening of yesterday answering all of my LinkedIn messages. And there's so many of you asking me to explain the culture. And that's why I like it. I love it. It works for me. I know that some people don't like what I have to say, but I'm sorry. If you're asking me questions, I'm just giving you my honest opinion, okay? But I get it, especially coming from a teacher where, you know, you're dealing with, you know, either kids or students to an environment where you have to like constantly deliver on the clock and someone is always in your face, practically in your face, if not email, like literally in your face, right? It's different. But you know, it's you have to mentally move really fast. All right? I mean, I like it. That's what I'm doing right now with you guys. Hey, Matthew. Matthew, did you just recently join my Patreon? I want to say yesterday. Is that you? Please say yes if that's you. Questions for you. How does the interviewer grade response to behavioral question? Excellent question. Is it a pass, fail, or is it one of the subject score like great, good, or bad? Wow, that's a really good question. I'll make a video out of that. So unless that has changed, I don't think so. It's very simple. It's either higher, it's either higher, strong higher, no higher. What was the other one? No higher, and I believe there's another one that basically says you are shunned. Never, you are shunned for some reason, and that's usually like a culture fit or something that's really, really bad. But generally, it's a higher, no higher. In my career at Amazon in 6 years, I probably strong hire one person out of the thousands of people I've interviewed. And I've interviewed program managers and other role outside of recruiting as well. Okay, there is no pass or fail, good or bad. It's just yes or no or strong yes. Hey VJ, VJ says, oh, what happened here? VJ says, loop or on-site interviews, are they the same? Yes, loop means panel. To me, loop means panel, like a number of interviewers, more than one interviewers, generally. They're the same thing. I know, that's a great questions from Matt. Hey Lalu, to the power of 17. Question, keep it at 60 seconds. Talk about years of experience, number of people you have managed. Hang on, let's pause for a second. When it comes to number of people you've managed, remember it's Amazon. At Amazon, depending on the level that you are interviewing for, okay? Like if you've managed 3-5 people, I wouldn't even talk about the number of people you've managed unless it's like 20 people, okay? Because at Amazon, even as a recruiting manager at the time, I have to think. I need more coffee. I was level 6 and I had a team of about 15 people that reported to me. Now I've heard that the bar has raised because they have more opportunities and things are moving actually a lot faster because of the pandemic. Somebody at my level nowadays would easily manage 20 plus people, okay? So if you're interviewing for level 6 on the business side, unless you have more than, I want to say like roughly about 20 people or so, you could mention that. But generally, I wouldn't recommend mentioning how many people you have managed, unless it's a very large team. Projects is the same thing. Yes, if you have managed like global projects and services, mention that because it's all about those buzzwords. Yes, end result. You're listening. Makes me so happy. I'm interested in a position at Amazon Ops Manager. Yes. Yep. Basically, it sounded like you know what to do. You have to start writing it, okay? Again, my Patreon and some of my patrons sends me their answer, and I would generally review it for them within 2 business days. If you reach out to me via LinkedIn, I'm not purposely ignoring you. It just takes me about a week to get back to everybody, generally, unless you catch me at a time where I'm actually reviewing and your name is familiar, I remember who you are, and I'll quickly open your message. But in general, it takes me a long time. I appreciate the message, but there's a lot of you that I'm trying to get to, okay? So Patreon is the way to go. Hey, Terry. Terry says, what are my expectations for a startup project manager position? My phone interview is also in the same position. For startup, it could be treated very differently. For my experience, startup, depending on what kind of startup, right? Project manager, generally, they don't get very technical. It's more of what type of projects were you able to deliver? You have to, basically your achievement, right? When you talk about achievement, by the way, it has to be relevant to project management. Don't just pull up anything in your pocket that's not related to the role, okay? And also your project management life cycle. You know, if it was me interviewing you, which I have in the past before, could you walk me through your project management life cycle, right? That's probably the PM 101 interview. You have to be able to answer that. All right. And if you look at the commonly asked leadership principle on my Amazon playlist, those questions can all be relevant to this. But in the end of the day, the interviewer will have their resume and ask you questions based off of your resume, specifically for startup. Okay? And they will ask you questions on specifically what is in the job description because they want to see if you could walk the talk from your resume. Hey, Alicia. I discovered your live stream too late. You're here. That's all that matters. I had a phone. Oh, no, you have your phone interview already. I had my phone interview yesterday. I discovered you on Thursday last week. Well, Alicia, let me know if I'm pronouncing that right. I'm here every single Tuesday, 2:30 p.m. Baby or no baby, you know, home tearing apart or not, I'm still here, okay? Come back next Tuesday. Andrew says, yes, Holly is right. Listen to her. She gives gold. You're too nice. It's not that I'm giving you gold. It's just that you are a great student. And like I mentioned, everything that I preach about is here. I've done all the work for you. You just have to do it. Look at this. One of my good friends, Judy. Hey, Judy's in the house. Judy is a good friend of mine for about 15 years. We actually both used to live in the Bay Area, and ironically, we're both moving to the Pacific Northwest. That's awesome. Hey, Ricardo, thank you for coming back. Amazon Customer Excellence System. You're the second person that I've heard of. Continuous managing, yep, nice. Fingers crossed for you, Ricardo. If you guys hear screwdriver in the background, just ignore it. Hey, Portugal. Oh, I miss Lisbon. Used to do a recruiting event out there. Good people. The Lisbon folks knows how to have a good time. Hey, Michael. Michael from New York City here. I'm scheduled to speak with a hiring manager for an AM position. AM is account manager, by the way. My phone screen has no more than 10 minutes. What can I expect on my formal call? What do you mean your phone screen has no more than 10 minutes? This is your phone interview that you have no more than 10 minutes? Can you clarify that for me, please? On any phone interview for any position, generally the interviewer wants to know if you have the foundation for the role, okay? You do not want to be invited to the second or third phone interview. Let me repeat myself. Try to avoid that. If you are, and I say this earlier and I'll say it again, you want to do the best that you can by knowing yourself, okay? Your credential. Go back to the live stream and watch the very beginning, okay? I mentioned this earlier. You want to be able to know what you have done and be proud of what you've done and be ready to share for that. That's how you are prepared for the phone interview. If they have to invite you to come back for the second time, that means you have not given them an answer that meets the bar, okay? You probably meet the bar at 60-70%. That's why you were invited back. And if you're invited back to the third time, that means they are they don't want to let you go. You probably clicked really well with the person over the phone, or they really like you and they're really trying to find the right home for you, but you're not really a good fit. If you're invited to come have a third phone interview, okay? So again, try to show up prepared for professionals and go through one phone screen and not multiple ones, okay? So many of you, when you reach out to me, you want to know if I can jump on the phone with you quickly to give you an hour coaching to help you ace your Amazon interview. That it's happening in 2 days. Not happening at all. In fact, I don't even do 1 hour coaching anymore, except if you need advice on salary negotiation. The 1 hour coaching is perfect for that. If you want me to review your credential or your branding and teaching you how, the 1 hour coaching is perfect for that. No one should expect a 1 hour and see tremendous results out of that. Okay? Generally, the one that has a job offer from me or my clients are the ones who have worked with me for at least 2-3 hours. All right? Hey, I feel like I just have to talk some Jesus to a lot of you. I know that there were about 85 of you that's on here. I appreciate the messages, but there is no way for me to help you or give you feedback on your resume and your LinkedIn profile on LinkedIn, okay? If you're interested in that stuff, go check out my Patreon. Hey, HK from New York City. There's quite a few New York City here. Must be the time zone. Hey, Vinit. Vinit says, program manager interview is difficult. How program manager interview is different from technical program manager. I talked about this a lot in every single one of my live. There's a big difference because program managers don't expect to answer technical questions. And those technical questions for TPM would be systems architecture, systems design. As a technical program manager at Amazon, you have to know your systems architecture very well, because you need to be able to have those conversations with the engineer whom you will be collaborating with very closely to create the product, okay? The product and the services, all right? As a program manager, you're managing the program, so you don't need to design it. You just have to write it, put it together with your specification from A to the Z, and partner very well with TPM, the UI UX designer, and everyone else, versus a TPM role is kind of specific. They're focusing on the systems level on the technical side, okay? So for all of you who's interviewing for a TPM position at Amazon and you don't have system design background, you won't make it through. Hey, Manjing. Hey, Manjing says, new comment. Let me, oh, wow. Oh, did I? Oh, where is it? Oh, no. Sorry, guys. I accidentally pressed a button. I wanted to see how many more questions are there, and I pressed the wrong button. So now I have to scroll back up and find mention, Control F. Such is my life. Okay. Here you go. I found it. Woof. Manjin from Luxembourg. God, I used to lay over in Luxembourg in every one of my my Eastern Europe trip with Amazon. I've been watching your video from 2 weeks ago. Great tips. Oh, thank you. I'm having my first phone interview as a finance analyst role with finance manager on Thursday. Well, good luck. Let me know how that goes, okay? Make sure you are ready to answer questions on what type of systems or software that you're using and how you use data to help customers or paint a story as a finance analyst, because you'll be doing a lot of those. Linda says, I am a trusted business technologist. I love the word technologist, who helps organizations leverage technology to create competitive advantage aligned to their goals and objectives. I spend my entire 25 years of my career in IT, starting infrastructure, ERP implementation, and leading IT teams. In the past 5 years, okay, that's too much. I love the beginning, okay? This is Linda's tell me about yourself. I will simply just say, I would simply just say, I've spent my 25 plus year as a trusted business technologist who helps organizations leverage technology to create competitive advantage that align to their goals and objectives. And then I would say the environment that I am most comfortable in, or the comfortable that I'm most, I can't talk, the environment that I have most knowledge on are IT infrastructure, ERP implementation, and leading IT teams. I'm interested in this position because, right, I would just say one sentence, because you are applying for the job. But if you are not, let's just say that you ran into someone on the street or a job fair, you're not applying for any position, what I just said is perfect. You don't have to say, I basically took what you said and move it around a little bit, or you can simply just say, I have 25 years of experience as a business technologist. I like that. That's fancy. Who helps organizations leverage technology to create competitive advantage that align to their goals and objectives. And I will end it very, very nicely. The environment that I'm most comfortable on are IT starting infrastructure, ERP implementations, and leading technology teams, period. That's there. I won't say anymore. Okay? That's about 10 seconds. How would you recommend, Serge, this is a cool question. How would you recommend to approach mentoring related question? Are you a people manager, Serge? This questions, sometimes it will be asked because if you are, especially if you're a people manager, I would think of a time that, well, the exact questions that I would ask relating to that category was, first of all, how do you measure someone that is not performing well? What is your process as a mentor or a leader? Or I would ask, can you tell me a time and walk me through how you manage an employee who is on a employment improvement plan, right? I mean, those questions will be asked, especially if you are people manager. At Amazon, it's kind of hit and miss, right? But I personally would, if I care about building the right team dynamic and hiring the right leaders to fit into the culture, I would ask that question, right? Then, I can't help you answer that, but you would have to use, obviously, your personal experience and what you're passionate about. And to be honest with you guys, of my time in working with a lot of peers in the recruiting industry, unfortunately, I haven't seen as many good leaders as I would like, or have good managers as I would like, because just because you are reporting to someone, you should also be open to go to them anytime you want and see them as a mentor. I haven't had that. I probably had that twice in my entire career, and unfortunately, I would love to see more leaders stepping up, okay? And if you are a people manager who's watching right now, I want you to do me a favor and, you can even put it in the comment below. What is the one thing that you're most proud of your mentorship that helps other and make an impact? The example that I want to hear that you would get and inclined to hire from me is you were able to help someone who is struggling with an issue with either, is it communication help? Is it performance improvement? Is it career growth? What is it? Be very specific. And I was able to help them by sitting down and creating an outline to help them structure with all the steps that it would take to see progress week over week. So what have you done to help them? And what have you done to support them? Okay? I'm telling you guys right now, it's very unfortunate in my career that I haven't really experienced that from the leaders that I know. Okay? I mean, don't be lazy. You guys are people manager for a reason. You're there to help people. You can't be successful without your team. Carl says, my recruiter told me that they're not likely to be back in the office until October. Oh, that's cool. That's good. And that may change too, depending on what's going on with the coronavirus. Now everyone's jumping in to tell me about the Amazon opening. That's funny. Um, Satendra says, I'm in UK. Oh, hey, we still in semi-lockdown, hence interview all virtual for now. Well, stay safe, everyone. Make sure you take care of yourself. Ashwa says, can you please provide tips for phone screening and on-site interview for systems engineer at Amazon? I have one answer for each of the LP. That's great. That's excellent, by the way. If you already have created your questions for each LP, you're already above everyone else. But also practice on coding, right? You're a systems engineer. Now, I have not hired system engineer. I've hired software, hardware, and all kinds of engineer except systems engineer. But I'm gonna say that there's gonna be coding, and if you're system, then you're probably gonna be C++ or the systems level coding languages, or even Python. So make sure you know the language really well in solving problems, okay? That's the technical part that I can think of, and I would assume that Amazon will be asking that. Also, I did do a search with one of my customer that is a systems architect that's interviewing for system architect at Amazon. He got the job. So I actually walked him through Glassdoor and told him how to pull those interview questions. It is on Glassdoor. All of them are. Go to Glassdoor, systems engineer, click interview feedback, and all the questions are on there. Okay? Hey Renee, what is exactly a hiring manager? Are they from HR, or are they the positions manager? That is an excellent question. Sorry guys, I thought you and I are on the same page here. Hiring manager are the ones that wants the recruiter to post the open position. They're the one who you will be reporting to. Hiring manager is the one that you will report to when you get the job. Okay? Not HR, the business, your team, your future manager. Carl says, I did 2 to 3 for each one and make sure I didn't recycle. Yes, I love it. Thank you, Carl, thank you. I'm gonna leave your comment up there because I'm so proud of what you just said. Over and over and over again in every single one of my Amazon leadership principle, I said you need at least 2 to 3 examples for every leadership principle, and I gave you at least 2 to 4 most commonly asked questions that I spend my time in finding in Glassdoor for all of you guys so that you can follow. I know I said this in the last live, but I'm going to say this in this live. The people who has worked with me, who all received job offer, and the ones who's watching right now, when they show up in our coaching session, I can see it in the back wall with sticky, okay? These people are so serious, they put sticky of their answers, their leadership principle and their answers with the questions on the wall so they could memorize that, okay? And they actually listen because I mentioned it in so many of my videos where it's so much easier for you to write things down instead of typing, because when you write things down, you will have an aha moment that says, I've done this. Oh no, wait. Oh no, I didn't do this. I actually did a lot more than this. Let me change that, right? When you find yourself scribbling and crossing things out to do it better and better and better, guess what? That is a perfect answer. But you guys have to start. I know I'm yelling at a lot of you right now, and most of you probably need to yell at, but the ones who listen to me, guys, they all get job offer just by showing up to this. I'm just so pumped up, and I love Carl's message. Because literally, guys, I am receiving so many, thank you so much, I have a job offer email, okay? I'm gonna show those email off in one of the upcoming videos so you can see that I'm being very serious here. Hey, Jewel. Hey, Toy. I'm Chinese, Vietnamese, and I can't even pronounce the name right. Doi. I just landed an entry-level position in an American agency partner. Your video, tell me about yourself, and star helped a lot. Having answer built on leadership principle helps too. Thank you. Makes me so happy when you guys are actually doing the work that I put out there for you. Inoch. I applied to AWS Tech Intern off a whim. Recently completed 2 interviews. I'm a sophomore in university and felt incredibly inadequate compared to other candidates. What lands interns and interview? To be honest, I have no experience with intern, college grad, or anything the college program, but there is so much information that you can find on Google and Glassdoor on the intern process, okay? For what I know is the intern programs are very similar across all of the tech company, um, which is they usually connect with you and the interview process is completely different from interviewed, and it's also a lot shorter because um, they don't expect you to be a full stack engineer. They expect to hold your hands as you're answering the questions because you don't really have those experience outside of academia, right? So do your homework on there. I am very sure that you will find an answer on our World Wide Web. All right. Hey Vamji. Oh, I'm struggling today, guys. Hey Vamji, top 3 tips for a virtual on-site interview data engineer position. Funny that you asked. There's a lot of those in a couple previous live. Go check out Amazon interview tips Q&A, okay? You don't even have to waste 2 hours in watching. I list all the questions down for you. Control F and look for data engineer. Okay? But the bottom line is the behavioral question is the same across all position, guys. All. For data engineer, obviously, you need to know like data sets, data systems, data infrastructure, everything live and breathe data very, very well. And if you need help in studying the technical side, look at the job description, the technologies that you would require to pass the job interview. To pass the on-site is in the job description, okay? Mosher says, do you have any advice for graduate program? Actually, I don't. That is the area that I have no experience at all whatsoever. Why are you going back to school for graduate program? Leave me a link and let me know. First of all, what program are you going, what program are you doing for graduate school and what is your goal? The reason why I asked that is I was working with someone earlier on, and that professional had an excellent background, and he was already, he had about 15 years of industry experience. He was biz dev with product management background, and he tells me that he doesn't really have a whole lot of time on his hand right now. Because he's going back to school to get a business management degree, because now with all the years of experience he wants to be a people manager. And I basically said, did you already pay for school? Because companies don't hire you based off of your management degree. You don't need a management degree to be a people manager. In fact, I know senior engineering leader at Amazon with no degree. I know very principal recruiter with no degree either. You don't have to have a degree. However, if you work for a company like a Google, then yes, because they're very academia focused, and you would need to have a bachelor's degree of anything, right? Pretty much. But, regarding Amazon, you really don't need that. I don't know if you're interviewing on Amazon, I just have to put it out there. Ricardo says, I have listed 170 questions that I took out of video, and I've been answering them in order to have a good idea of how to answer them during the behavioral interview if I get to it. Good exercise. Good job. Bravo to you. VJ says, should we expect to answer tell me about yourself for all the 5 interviews in the loop? If there will be a redundant LP questions between different rounds, can I use the same story in different rounds? No, no, and no. First, most, if not every single interviewer, if they don't say tell me about yourself, they would say, so, why are you here? So why are you interested in this position? So that's really tell me about yourself, right? That's why if you could repeat tell me about yourself 10 times, 30 times, you will be able to make it smooth, right? Obviously, you're not going to talk about, I have 20 years of technical program management position, building products You're not gonna talk like that to your peer who's interviewing you, okay? You would talk like that to the hiring manager or to someone in a leadership role outside of your team, right? So it's depending on level, which is why it is so important for you to practice over and over again. So I'm asking you to remember who you are, okay? When you know and you can scale in your achievement, you could just pull it out from your back pocket and cater towards the right audience. Also, of course, you're paying attention to the tone and the body language, okay? But if you're really connecting with someone in an interview, you can tell. Then you could just relax a little bit. You don't have to say, I have 15 years of it. You could just say, well, because like take Renee, for example, right? How he wrote earlier that, he grew up building computers since he was 13 years old. And, in the last 12 years, he's done nothing but to work on engineering and as a solution architect, working very closely with customers to learn what their pain point is in solving them. That's why transitioning to Amazon Cloud is a natural, organic move for him, because he is extremely customer obsessed like that. So if he's talking to his peer on a peer level, if someone's joking with you and say, yeah, I'm a geek. I worked on computer my whole life. Great, Renee, that's a perfect time for you to bring that geekness out. So you're trying to find relevancy to connect as well. That's very important, okay? So tell me about yourself is powerful, because you could use that one phrase to churn it into so many things. No, I did not learn that at Amazon, and no, I did not learn that at anyone else. I just know that this is what works because of all the companies that I've worked for, okay? Don't use the same example. Have multiple ones. Snappy41, I applied for a senior art director position on Monday through Amazon job website. The status is no longer under consideration in 2 days. Yeah, sorry Snappy, I'm not really sure what happened there. The role may probably be filled, okay? But let's take a look at how you tell about yourself. Tell me about yourself, Snappy. I have over 18 years experience, and they only look at they only look at my website for less than 10 seconds. That's great. I'm so glad you mentioned 10 seconds. Guys, remember how I told you that our human attention span is 6 to 10 seconds? 10 is the max. That right there, what I'm reading, and you guys are seeing the perfect example, right? If you don't have what they want, they'll just pass. I thought the position had been filled, but it's still there. Yeah. It must be it sounded like they didn't get what they would hope for on your credential. Hope the position has been filled, but still there. I just don't understand the quick rejection. Who makes this initial decision? It's a recruiter, because the recruiter is trained to know what the hiring manager of the team wants. Also, most recruiter, if they're in doubt, they will They will forward your resume to the hiring manager, and the manager would say, that it doesn't look like a good fit. Don't feel bad that you're being rejected. That's also an opportunity for you to evaluate the job description. Guys, here's a huge bonus tip for everyone, okay? Before you apply to a job, you have to take your resume, look at the job description. Does it fit the job description at 80%? If it does not fit the job description on basic qualification and or at least 50-60% of prefer qualification, you're not going to make it through, okay? Because if the job is calling for these sets of skill, because that's what you'll be doing and building, and if you haven't done that, if your resume looks completely different, then you cannot be upset that you're being rejected. I'm not saying that you are, and that's a reason, but that's why, okay? Because the recruiter goes by really fast. I can look at something in 5 second max. That's it. I have to move on to the next person. VJ, did I already answer your questions? I thought I did. Oh, yes, I did. Okay, great. Femalababu gave interview to Amazon for sweet position, failed to impress on the telephone, how long coding period would be, tried to reach and check with the recruiter, didn't get it. The cooling period, if if coding is where you didn't make it past the phone interview, it's at least a year. That is because it takes at least a year if you're in the same job, okay? If you're in the same job doing the same thing, then your coding experience doesn't really improve. However, I have seen some software engineers that have turned around dramatically within a year because they self-study and do projects on the side, and just do volunteer work even outside of their day job, or they switch to a different role where they have more responsibility, basically do more projects where they're forced to code a lot more and solve complex problem because the environment they're in, they didn't give the opportunity to solve the level of technical problem that Amazon would like to see. Okay, so generally if it's technical, then I would say a year. That's just my advice, and that's what I've seen. Hey Daniel. Daniel says, where can I find the past training videos you refer to? Can you share the link or website? I can't do it right now, Daniel, because I'm live streaming, and I will have to put everyone on hold. If you go to my YouTube channel that you're watching, don't do it right now because I'm streaming afterwards. If you click on my photo right there, and you click on my photo and you go to playlist, you'll see all the playlists. Go to everything that has the word Amazon on it, okay? One of them says Amazon Leadership Principle, okay? The other one says Amazon Questions and Answer. The first video is why Amazon. The second one is the writing exercise. That's new. And then the third one is the Amazon Interview Tips Live Q&A, which is this one, okay? The live Q&A so far has all been Amazon, all right? Playlist. Officer Sausage says, if you had to sneak a parrot through airport security, what would you do? Well, I'll get back to you after I've answered all the questions. How to connect with, Lulu says, how to connect you with interview review. Lulu, if you're interested in my services, you can reach out to me on holly@halsley.com. That's my business email address, as well as my business website. Or you can send me a message on LinkedIn, and on the subject, just say interview prep request. Okay? So that way I know to look for you and not be in the mix of everything else. All right? And if we haven't connected on LinkedIn already, ironically, I'm the only Holly Lee that is a career coach and in recruiting. I'm very easy to find. My contact information is also all over my LinkedIn video. Okay? Hey Ashwat. Ashwat says, can you tell me what they concentrate on phone screening? Fundamentals, making sure that you have the basic qualification to do the job. They're not looking for profession. They're looking to make sure that you're able to walk the talk from your credential and able to perform enough for them to invite you in for a full day or almost a full day interview. Hey, Kalal says it's numerical exam. Oh, numerical exam website. Thank you so much. Numerical exam. You know what? Are you talking about the coding exercise? Because Amazon does have SDE coding exercise for SDE 1, 2, and 3. If you're referring to that, then that is usually solving problems, and you will pick 2 problems to solve. Normally it's one system design, coding, your coding languages, algorithm and or data structure. Basically things that you already should know if you're a software engineer. Let me know if that's what you're referring to. Hey Shito. Shito says, just here to say I got the job. Star. See the yay! Congratulations. See, I told you guys, it works. Rab Sidhu says, thanks for sharing. If the prior experience was not related to customers' need, product or services, how should we tailor the story to talk about customer obsession LP? That's a really good answer. If you don't have the experience or any experience at all with products or services, what about an example in where you have um, bent over neck, or how do you differentiate yourself in going above and beyond for your customer, even though you're not, the product is not a physical product or services? What have you done? But if you truly have no customer service experience of any kind of sort, then you obviously won't be able to answer that, right? So there's got to be a customer base. Who are your customers? Okay, is it internal? So if it's internal, just figure out what you have done to satisfy your end user. Okay, I don't want to believe that you don't have any customer experience at all. Okay, so please clarify that. You're welcome, Krishna, Luciana. Matt, that is you. Thank you. I love surprises. I woke up one day and my Patreon told me that I have a new member that just joined. Thanks, Matt. Vineet says, wow, I have a lot more, so I'm gonna speed through this, okay? Vineet says, I'm a senior project manager having experience of 14 years in tech industry. I started as a software engineer and lead teams such as lead, move to project management. I've delivered complex projects leading cross-functional team across tech stack. Majorly, I have worked on regular projects for organization within strict deadline and budgets. Okay, that's too long. I don't know what your impact is. I'm assuming this is tell me about yourself. So, Vineet, this is what I would do, and I also don't know in your tell me about yourself. I would also end, guys. I would also, if you're interviewing, if this is in front of an interviewer, I would tie that back and end it with some kind of call to action, which is why I'm interested in this position, because I feel like, and let me be Vineet for a second. I am I'm a senior project manager with 14 years of experience in the technology industry. I actually started my career as an engineer, grew to leading team gradually into project management, which I love and want to continue. I was able and fortunate to solve complex projects through cross-functional teams with different technology stacks. I'm interested in your opportunity because I felt that I could add tremendous value into what are you interviewing for? Why? What? Give me once. Everybody who's watching, give me one sentence. Why are you applying for that one role? Okay, I'm not seeing that on here, but basically you want to talk about why should they hire you? What is your added value? You have 14 years of technology industry. You don't have to put senior project management. Project leader, project management leader, 14-year experience. You could say it like that too. That's all I need to know. I don't need to know about anything else. What did you deliver? Basically, who have you helped? Okay? Deliver complex projects leading cross-functional teams across tech stack. Beautiful. 2 sentences. Third one. Since you were able to deliver that, why are you interested in this position? So the last sentence in wrapping all this up is basically why Amazon, right? That is going to open up into the different personality and the type of tone that will set for the remainder of the interview based on this powerful first question. And let me know, give me a thumbs up if you guys agree with me, if I'm making sense to you. Okay? You're trying to find relevancy with the interviewer, okay? And you wanted to tie it back. Or you know what, and if it's your peer that's interviewing you, well, this is why I'm interested in this role, and I know that you are a senior project manager here. I would love the opportunity, just as you, being able to exploit globally, right? Like that. So just make it more relevant so the interviewers will also get excited. And let's be honest here, people like it when you throw things back at them, especially about them. Okay? Hey, Bob. Bob says, senior solution architect and product manager roles are overlapping. SSA for outside customer and PM for inside customer. Can I apply for both? I would say yes. Yes, I would say so. But one thing to be very careful, Bob, in your resume, again, you have to make sure that your resume looks like the job description. Okay? The buzzword may be different. I do agree with you. Solution architect, the architect is really for the product, right? For the system or for the product, there's a lot of product management in there. So you need to make sure if you are a solution architect, you're applying for a product management role, there's got to be a lot of product management, and you have to know the product management life cycle all over your resume as well. Okay? Milagros, hey Milagros, I'm interviewing for Pathway Operations Manager. Do you have any advice? I'm having the first interview. I would say just relax. Make sure you know your stories really well. Anything could be asked. For the bare minimum, you need to be able to demonstrate how are you a success. Oh, I can't talk. How are you and what made you a successful operations manager? And basically, what was your achievement? What are some of your career achievement? And work backward, right? I would advise anyone to put down everything I do is in three. You're not going to do all three. In three, but pick the best one, and that's the best example you will use. And based on your best example, because you're proud of your work, right, guys? You'll be able to tell your story and critique your story and how and what you have done to get to the end result, which is your achievement. Okay? That's probably the best advice I could give you is working backward, but start with what are your achievement and how did you get there. Alicia says, Alicia, fingers crossed will be another interview is for threat intelligence analyst. Good luck. Let me know how that goes. Oh, thank you, Alicia, for watching all of my video. Gankahar says, I find around at Amazon for database consultant role. Can you please advise on what leadership principle I can expect? Look at all of the leadership principle on my playlist, okay? Because I don't like to waste your time. I just don't like to waste time in general, except today I'm like losing word right now of everything that's going on around me, literally physically. But all the questions I have is on there. And the reason why I made the comment that it does not matter what position you're interviewing for is, for example, guys, tell me the most complex problem you've solved. It doesn't matter what position you're interviewing for, right? Can you tell me a time where you saw your teammate or someone in your company struggling and you offer your help without anyone asking you, right? That's really earned trust. That's earned trust, ownership. There's like customer obsession, right? It's hitting a lot of leadership principle. It doesn't matter, guys, okay? Do your story and you'll be fine. Like Ann Lu and a couple other just say, just star, 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 star. Napier. Napier says, I've applied for the same position, senior database migration consultant. Can you please provide some information on interview rounds? I'm going to make a video on how you prepare for on-site interview. If those of you who want that video to come out this Friday, give me a thumbs up. On-site interview prep for Amazon. The same feedback I would give everyone else is to make sure you know your databases and obviously your example and how you your implementation and migration and configuration very well, because you're a consultant and that's what the role is calling for, the job description. Okay? Hey Michael, a recruiter called to verify if I want to interview for the account manager role. It was a high level, a high level 10-minute call. Okay, cool. Okay, you just confirmed that. Yep. The recruiters are your friend, leverage them and try to figure out as much information as you can about the team, okay? So that when you get on the phone with the hiring managers, if the recruiters know what the expectation is and more about the team dynamic and whatnot, make sure to give you those information. Hey Milagros, Do you have any specific questions that come out on Pathway Ops Manager, specifically first phone interview? Well, I will give you an excellent answer if you and I are working together where I'm not live streaming right now. I could show you how to do that search on Glassdoor, but I can't do it today. Eventually, once my condo is fully renovated and I actually get my office back with a desk, I don't even have a desk with my camping chair right now. My mind will be in a better place to screen share and walk you guys through a lot of the tutorial. It's just hard because I don't know if you guys can hear it. There's also a lot of echo in the back as well. So I don't have the right setup at the moment, okay? Daniel said, is it appropriate to ask the recruiter what level the ops manager is applying for? If not, where can I find the information? You cannot find the information. You should absolutely ask the recruiter, okay? Because some level, let me give you an example, like software engineer, program manager, program manager level, 3, 4, and 5 are just the same title. And if you get the senior in front of it, that's a level 6, okay? If you're a people manager, that's even worse. So there are some people manager that are 4, 5, and 6 with the same title, okay? If you're a level 7, then it would be a senior manager, and then 4, like program management. That's how you can tell, but it's best to check with the recruiter. But in the end of the day, it's all based on how well you do during the whole interview process, okay? Oh, I haven't, Masurv says, I have an interview on HireView for graduate program delivery station manager role. Can you give me some advice, some question that may ask me? I can't give you any questions right now because I would literally have to do research on that because I have never hired for station manager before. It's very, very simple, and here's the quickest tip and trick I can give you. And I'm going to talk about the job description again. The questions they're going to ask you is based on what is on your resume in combination with the job description, even without looking at any of that, okay? So you need to make sure that you're able to perform the job and put yourself as the interviewer. What type of questions would you want to ask yourself to know if you're qualified, okay? The bottom line is Amazon wants to see if you're better than 50% of the employees in the current role, okay? Oh, it won't let me, oh, here you go. Hey, Banu. Banu says, for the business analyst positions, what are the interview round? It should be the same round as a regular interview. You usually have a phone screen and an on-site loop of 4 to 5 people. I have a kink in my neck. Lady B. Hey, Lady B. Thanks for your tips. Have a virtual senior program manager interview tomorrow. Oh, for ATS, wow. Any key insight? The only key insight I would say is know your program management projects well. And also, if it's for ATS, what are some of your experiences in how you manage different programs, and what are the type of programs that you have done and have achieved relating to the application tracking system, okay? You're welcome. Linda says, do you have any examples, tips for whiteboarding session? Position is systems architect. That's a really good question, Linda. For all of you or any of you who's interviewing for a technical position, and if you haven't or not comfortable whiteboarding, in this case, you're not whiteboarding, you're coding. I don't know what they're coding on these days. It would be something similar to like a Google Pad or coding pad, where the interviewers are looking at the way that you code because you're not in person, right? There's nothing for you to code in your back. So I would practice coding and start timing yourself. That's probably the best tip I can give you, Linda, and all of your, if you're a technical professional that require coding or solving systems, design, architecture program, coding to solve problem, algorithm, data, I almost said data entry, data structure, like binary codes and all that stuff, you have to practice coding virtually, okay? And time yourself, because you only have probably about half an hour to solve the problem. The first 15 minutes, introduction, asking you behavioral questions, right? So that's the best tip I can give you, Linda. Thank you, Bennett. And you guys see why I can't provide examples specifically to your role. As you can see, just by me going live, so far we have been going on for over 2 hours already. And if I were to make a video to answer all the different positions and level, it's gonna take me a long time, and that's not most efficient of my time and yours. Hi, hey Inkit. Inkit says, I'm interested in TPM role because I want to work on large-scale complex problems impacting customers globally. Yes, nice. That's actually very nice. If this is part of your tell me about yourself, that's beautiful how you ended it in the end. You see, you didn't say about I want to work for you because you're the biggest company in the world. And Diraj, every single live stream, there's a lot of program managers. Look at my previous live stream and go to program manager interview tips. There's a lot of links on there, okay? Amazon interview tips, that's the playlist. Live Q&A, okay? Two more questions and I gotta run, guys. I'm having my second phone interview for account manager position. Thank you. But I'm no longer able to see the position on Amazon's site. Do you have any idea why they remove it if it's still open? Well, that can also be, I mentioned this very earlier on that, by the way, next Tuesday and every Tuesday when you guys come, please be on time, because a lot of people are asking the same questions that I have repeated from the very beginning, especially a bunch of program management questions, okay? And this one is pretty similar as well. The position get removed because normally when you post a job posting on external site or sometime internal, it expire after 30, 60, or 90 days. That's probably why. You may see it in one platform and not the other. I mean, in a company like Amazon, they're always going to hire. Even if all the companies are not hiring at all, hypothetically speaking, Amazon will be the only one standing because they are the only organization with the most product and services. And that's very smart of Jeff Bezos. Oh, you're welcome, Daniel. Very helpful. I'll be looking up your playlist once this ends. Yeah, check it out, especially everything that has the word Amazon and interview on it. If you saw that I've got some eye issues or the video are not that great, especially my 60-second elevator pitch and my star methods, it is my first and second video. I just hate being in front of the camera. Even now, guys, prior to coming to every live stream, I'm generally really nervous because I don't want my system or something to fall apart. So I'm very anal when it comes to that stuff. But just by all of you showing, it motivates me to come back every Tuesday, okay? I think I've answered all of your questions. I have to get going now. Thank you so much for coming here and spending a couple hours with me. I will see you guys next Tuesday. And be sure to put yourself, if the best thing I can also tip you guys is, provide tip is put Tuesday, 12:30 p.m. Holly Lee's coaching on your calendar, okay? That way you're not missing any of my live. Thanks, guys. Be safe out there and take care.